got shot in my face and the bullet lodged in my sinus cavity.
Oh, in your nose?
Yeah, behind my sinus cavity in my nose. Hey, what's up, this TeIz, man. Creator and founder of Put Your People On, man. I'm sitting here with my brother, man. I'm talking about the streets, all the way from jail, all the way back, from indictments, from getting shot up and everything. So I'm sharing this with y'all. Come ride with me while I drop this knowledge.
Detroit has a way of shaping you, and my guest today has lived both sides of that reality. Born on the East Side, he grew up in poverty, survived gangs, prison, and multiple gunshot wounds, and somehow turned that into a movement called Put Your People On. This isn't just a brand, it's a mission to uplift, empower, and give back to the same community that raised him. Today, we're talking about pain, purpose, and how you can turn your story into something bigger than yourself. Welcome to Made in Banglatown, my guy.
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you took out the time to sit down and have a conversation. Bro, if you don't know already, I've actually been a secret fan of yours. Back in the day, I would hang around at the original hip hop shop when I was working with Crowd Freak and things like that. I saw my big bro, Corey, wearing a shirt that said PYOP. I would see that in the clothing store and I was just like, man, what is that? At the hip hop shop, we have a lot of brands from Detroit creatives. So I knew it was something rare. I was like, man, what is that? Oh, let's put your people on. And then fast forward, that was the slogan when Eastside Egg Roll came out. Put your people on, put your people on. It really struck a chord with me because at the end of the day, that's been my mission here too. In Banglatown, we gotta put our people on. Whether it's culture, music, finances, spirituality, whatever it is, we gotta put our own people on or else no one will. What does Put Your People On mean to you? What does that brand mean to you?
PYPO, Put Your People On, to me, means everything about me. My history, my past, my environment, everything I know as a man, that's what PYPO stands for, and giving back.
For the people who don't know you, give them a short description on who were you
before PYPO. Before I started my clothing brand and my movement, I was actually working for the city of Detroit. I was working in forestry in the general services department, and I was cutting trees down for the city of Detroit for 3.5 years. At the same time, I was a gang leader, formerly incarcerated, and just a guy from the D trying to make it happen.
Yeah, what does that mean, being a gang leader in Detroit?
I was born and raised here in the city of Detroit, being a gang leader for the Vice Lords for a long time, over 15 years. It just meant I was in control of hundreds of individuals, everyday activities, money, drugs, life, every day.
What's a Vice Lord?
A Vice Lord is a male or a female who represents the 5-point star, love, true peace, freedom, and justice. It's a person who strives every day to live the principles and the concepts. A Vice Lord is someone who has a tight hold on the principles and concepts as a living man. A Vice Lord has different meanings, different sayings. Vice Lord is an acronym. It stands for Vanguard, Independent Community Empowerment, Lords of a Revolutionary Deployment.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
So would this be, I mean, when people think about gangs here in the city, it's more so like Bloods, Crips. It's very
Vice Lords is a little different. Not a traditional gang. Vice Lords is actually a street organization, and a lot of members take offense to be called gang members. Vice Lords don't draw colors, areas, or things like that. It's more of a principle thing. So it's not, oh, you wear blue, you wear red or yellow, you know what I mean? It's more of a principle thing.
Oh, okay. So basically, when they say street code and principles, street law.
That's something you gotta live by. You gotta live to your constitutional laws, your principles, your codes of conduct. Yeah.
I gotcha.
You just can't just be claiming anything and not moving.
How do you become like a Vice Lord?
Yeah. So it's no sign-up sheet. You don't walk up and be like, hey, I wanna join. You gotta get vetted. Usually someone who is a Vice Lord already know you, see something in you to say, I think he'd be an asset to the nation, to the Vice Nation, and that's usually how you become.
I gotcha. Would you be able to compare that to a business organization in a way where Vice Lords Vice Lords are the group, right? And then from the group, like there are leaders and followers and things like that, like a business?
Yeah, like a business organization, a structure. Yeah. You got your secretaries, people that's in charge of finances, your literature, and things of that nature. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely all the way around the board where a house has to run itself.
How long were you a part of that?
I became a vice lord when I was 17.
17, gotcha. And then from there, is that something you chose to be a part of, or do you think the life chose you?
I think I definitely chose to be a part of it, but my environment played a role, and it chose me being where I was. Had I not been in the neighborhood and in the streets hanging out like I was, and I wouldn't have became a vice lord.
That's true.
Yeah.
From your time with that, honestly, what would you say is the most beneficial things that came from that?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
One of the most beneficial things, no, I know exactly. The most beneficial things that came out of me being a vice lord for all those years is the individuals, the brothers and the sisters who remembers real bonds, genuine love, something that you can never turn away from.
Are you still in contact with all the people that you grew up with?
No, I'm not in contact with all the people, but I am in contact with those living a righteous life and being.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Anybody who's living negative, regardless if you're a vice lord or not, I'm cutting them out of my life.
Okay. Would you say that you're still a vice lord, or is it something like once you're a vice lord, you're always a vice lord because of your mindset?
No, I'm not a part of the vice lords anymore. The principles of lordism will always be with me. Like I said, that's something that's not negative. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is the 5 highest principles known to man. That aspect, I will always live that. It's like the principles of God. You will always live the principles of God, but me being a member of the vice lord.
I got you. What was the moment where you knew, hey, this is not for me anymore?
The moment was when I was indicted on this recent charge, my racketeering charge. Federal house, assault rifles, downtown federal courthouse, facing life in prison. That's when I said, I'm done. Even before I got locked up, I was already moving away from gang activity anyway. I was a husband, I was a father, an entrepreneur, business owner, and a community leader giving back. The mindset I had when I was 16, 17 years old, I don't have.
What would you tell your 16, 17, 18-year-old self?
I would tell my 16-year-old self just to love myself. I think if you love yourself, then you will do a lot of things differently. The first law of nature is self-preservation. And you preserve yourself because you love yourself, because you want to be here. So I would tell my 16-year-old self that's about to go through prison, that's about to go through being shot, going through being experienced gangs and all that stuff like that. I would just love myself and be patient.
If you had anything to say to the youngins right now, it's a trend to do that, what would you tell them?
I would tell a young guy or girl involved in gangs, why? Do you need to be a part of a gang? Do a gang solidify you as a man? Do a gang solidify you as a young woman? It doesn't. It didn't solidify me. It's not going to solidify you. I was one of the most high-ranking gang members here in the state of Michigan, still not solidified because I was taken away from my family. I was taken away from my freedom. I spent over 15 years incarcerated. So the street life and gang life don't pay. So I would definitely just ask why. You gotta weigh your pros and cons in everything you do. And as far as my life, it's just been mostly consequences.
Ooh. Speaking of consequences, you said that you survived multiple gunshots. Speak on that. How does that happen? I think you also told me that you still have one fragment in your face.
Yeah, so I got shot multiple times in 2018. It was actually the day before Thanksgiving. Yeah, and I got shot once here in my arm.
Okay.
Went in, came up there, got shot in my face, and the bullet lodged in my sinus cavity, behind my sinus cavity in my nose. It was hard. It was traumatic. It was painful. I experienced PTSD from that. Hearing balloons go off or any loud noise shook me for a while. It took me a while to be back normal. And I don't think you ever really be normal.
Because after anything traumatic, there was a point you were at before the trauma, and now after the trauma, it's like you're at a new point where you literally, there's no way to go back to pre-trauma. So now you just have to like keep moving from where you are now. Like where would you say that you are now in your healing process? Whether it's a physical or emotional or spiritual?
Yeah, I say right now, healing, I'm in a good process mentally because I've accepted what happened to me. I'm not a victim. I'm a hero because I speak about what happened to me.
Okay.
And the reason why I speak about it is to bring awareness. Because if you don't know that being shot hurts, you need to hear it. You need to see gunshot wounds. You need to hear how it affects people physically and mentally. Even today, I'm affected by my gunshot wound. Years later, my wound created, your ear, nose, and throat is all connected.
Yeah.
Being that the bullet crushed my sinus cavity, it threw something off in my nose, which created liquid to form in my ears. Yeah. So your ears control your equilibrium. While I was working for the city of Detroit, I'm cutting a tree down with a chainsaw. I get dizzy, I fall out. I get up, I can't figure out what's wrong. Long story short, I go to the doctor and I find out that the bullet caused liquid to form in my ears, which throws off my equilibrium.
Yeah, your balance.
So now, years later, this happened in 2018. It's 2025. I'm still affected by what happened in 2018.
So basically, because of your past, it threw off your balance, literally. So what are some things that you are doing now moving forward to keep you balanced?
To keep me balanced, helping, putting my people on, giving back. I don't want nobody to go through what I went through. So I'm speaking about what I went through so that people cannot go through what I went through. And that's what's giving me balance. It's giving me strength to talk about it, to talk about being a victim of gun violence, to talk about being an ex-gang leader and now gang interventionist. It's giving me strength. I got great balance right now, and I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing.
When you talk about sharing your story, just talk to the audience, tell us your story. Let us know who TeIz was, how you went from a gang leader to now a CEO, an activist, and someone who's going out his way to bring up his community in a positive way. Let the people know.
It's Kurteiz Thompson. You might know me as TeIz. Grew up right here in your city, Detroit, East Side. I grew up in poverty. Everything wasn't glittering, definitely wasn't gold. Raised, single mother who had it hard, went through addiction, took a long time, but finally got it together. Beautiful woman. Father, not perfect, also went through some addiction problems. But today both are, great examples of change. And that's why I'm able to walk into my change, because of my parents. Their stories and the way they transition their lives give me motivation to continue to do what I'm doing in my life. I've seen so much death and destruction around me growing up in my neighborhood. And I adopted and accepted so much chaos and pushed that narrative. And that's just something that I don't want to continue to do. And the reason why I don't want to continue to do it, because I have a son, a 7-year-old son, niece, brother, cousin, nephew. I have a neighbor. I got you. And you got me. Too many times we look by and see that person starving on the side of the road or homeless, or we see that kid going without. We can't continue to do that, because that kid can be my kid. That little girl that can be getting raped out there can be one of your children or one of your sisters or one of your nieces. That's what we gotta stop doing. We gotta start putting our people on. I went through so much. Prison, the federal prison, indictments, gangs. I've held some of the highest positions in gangs. I don't have any of that right now. Everything was taken away from me. But what I do have is a capacity to give. And with that capacity, I know everything that was taken from me will come back, because my heart is in the right place. Every day I get up, I'm trying to figure out how I can help the next man. That's what helps me. So if you can continue to help me help the next man, then I will be okay, and we can work together.
Yeah, that's really powerful, bro. You definitely went through a lot. When it comes to your experience, being one of the highest ranking gang leaders, like, how were you able to leave that life behind?
Being a gang leader, when you got hundreds of brothers at your disposal to do good or bad, that's right. A lot of power. Money, respect, power. Yeah. And NPR, that's what everybody wants, money, power, and respect. But heavy is the head, because when you get that, what do you do with that? I like to think that I didn't run the nation with tyranny, or I wasn't pushing my own narrative for my own personal benefit. I can't say that for a lot of other people, a lot of other vice lords, a lot of other gang members, because a lot of people do that. But it was hard walking away from something that I had came to love as home, came to love as family, came to love as the only thing I'll ever know.
Yeah.
So it was an uncomfortable space just to even be able to speak and say I'm not that no more. Because mentally, you stuck.
That's you.
Or chief.
Yeah. Chief TeIz, Lord TeIz. Wow.
Yeah. But to walk away from that, it also took a great deal of love on the opposite end. And that's the love to be able to maintain freedom, maintain relationships with your family, maintain life. Because at this point, I feel like if I didn't step away from this, I would die. Whether if I die in prison. I didn't know if I was getting out. I was facing a mandatory 10 years and up to life in prison. When I made my decision to walk away from the vice lords, that was day one of me being locked up. I had a whole process. I fought my case for 3.5 years in pretrial detention, not as a vice lord, but with vice lords. I got a great deal of respect for the individuals who I love and who I fought my case with. Most of them stood solid, and I salute the ones that did. Walking away from it was a lot, man, but I gained even more.
Tell me about prison. That's federal penitentiary, right? It's not jail. It's not county lockup or anything. This was federal prison that you were in for 7 years.
I was in federal prison.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
Going from being in the streets as a gang member fights, and then now you're in chains. State prison, federal prison. How did that feel? Was the environment the same? Was it different? How did you survive that?
It was definitely different. Prison is not nice at all. Prison is not a good place to go. I hate when I see people talk about prison as if it's like a vacation spot or, oh, yeah, I'm about to go to the joint. A lot of people in there never come out or go in there and don't leave the way they came out. Come home worse mentally. But it was rough. Growing up and I went to prison, I was 19 years old. I weighed 120 pounds. I had braces in my mouth. I was skinny.
You sound like me in high school, bro. I'm over here going to high school looking like that, and you're going into prison, like as a young man. What do you think that did to you, like mentally?
Man, the first day I got to prison, I seen somebody get stabbed. A lot of y'all heard of this guy. The
East Side Rapist.
Yeah, the East Side Rapist. He was coined the East Side Rapist because he was the guy that was raping all the women and children on the East Side in them abandoned houses. He the one who sparked the mayor to break down all them abandoned houses because he was the one raping all them girls, taking them up in them houses. Yeah.
He got stabbed? You saw him get stabbed, or he stabbed somebody?
No, he got stabbed 40 times or better, yeah. The first day I got to prison in quarantine.
Is he okay?
No, I hope not.
So he survived that, though?
Yeah, he survived. We went to prison around the same time, 2008, 2009. I know he got stabbed everywhere he went.
Yeah.
Anytime when you do something to kids, man, when you go to prison, nobody else. You're the most hated person.
Okay, so it seems like the streets have law and codes.
Yeah, the joint do too.
How are they different? Or how are they alike?
They're alike when it comes to the snitching. They're alike when it comes to child predators and stuff like that.
It's a great thing, though.
Yeah. Nah, don't get it twisted. It's a lot of child molesters in prison. So you got a lot of child molesters in there that do their time and don't get stabbed up and all that stuff, but it's very few that actually slide through the cracks.
When it comes to the street code, what does that mean?
A street code is a code that people adopted. To be honest, a street code is what you make it and what people go around here saying, oh, we accept this or we don't. Because really, it's no fucking such thing as a street code. If you be honest with yourself, you can live by a street code today and be, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and then later on in life, don't even give a damn about what somebody else say or do.
What's an example of a street code or a street law?
I was just talking to a good friend of mine, Ray, one of the godfathers of CVI here in Detroit. We was talking about the street, about kids and women being a no-fly zone, not hurting kids and not hurting women. His argument was that's never been a code. Back in the day when drug dealers and YBI and all these guys was getting money and they was beefing with their rivals, they would go kidnap their kids, kidnap their woman, hold them for ransom, and you better have this money or whatever. So it never really was a kids off limit, women off limit thing. But I believe we need to stand together as a community and say kids are off limit, women are off limit. The climate of what's going on today, man, it's crazy. You getting kids that's getting killed playing at schools, playing at parks, swinging on the swing, man. And it's personal because we all have children. We have nieces and nephews, and you see a little girl, Ashley or Johnny, get killed, and you know, that kid's 6, my son's 7. You know what I mean? That kid wasn't in the wrong place, wrong time. It used to be back in the day where you go out, you hang in wrong places and wrong times, something could happen. Now, you could be exactly where you're supposed to be in school and you lose your life, man. People not moving accordingly.
What can we do to change the narrative of street codes and gang life? How can we change the narrative so that for the ones who choose to be a part of that life versus the people who want to live right, how do we balance this?
I believe the balance comes here. I'm a former gang member, former gang leader. So I can never sit up here and say gangs won't be here. They're going to always be here. But the balance comes in here. If you're going to be a gang member, let's hold you accountable for your principles. Let's hold you accountable for your actions, for your laws, for your bylaws, your constitutional rules. Because each and every one of these individuals, whether if you're a Blood, Crip, Vice Lord, GD, or anything, you have rules that you have to abide by. Oftentimes, we don't abide by them. And that's when you see gang banging mentality. You know what I mean? You can be a member of a gang and not be
A gang banger.
Okay, so you can be a vice lord and truly live the principles of a vice lord.
Right. Lordism.
Lordism. Don't hurt anyone. Protect children, protect family. Death before dishonor. Just living your life righteously, right? But you don't associate with those who commit crimes. You can be a vice lord and not commit crimes. But the tricky part is this. The federal government says if you're a vice lord and he's a vice lord and y'all are together, right? You may not commit crimes, but this person commit crimes. Since y'all both are the same thing, now I can charge you with what he's doing because all are part of the same enterprise.
Wow.
That's where it gets tricky.
I see.
So that's where a person like me has to make a decision and say, I can't do the same thing and expect different results. Essentially, I tried to be that vice lord who didn't commit crimes, who preached good and did good. But oftentimes when you're trying to clean yourself up, but you still have people around you that's dirty, you're going to get dirt on you.
Absolutely.
You're going to get dirt on you.
Absolutely.
And then with gang mentality and gang culture, you don't know who is who. You got individuals calling you bros or all that stuff like that. You don't know who they is. They using your name, trying to get credit off of your name. Oh yeah, I know TeIz, or I be with Chief and all, and you don't know me from a can of paint. You could be standing in front of me telling me, oh yeah, I'm under Chief TeIz, and I'm looking at you like you crazy.
It's like, I'm Chief TeIz.
This happens all the time because in gang culture, you want to be known or you want to have rank.
So you need a reference.
You need a reference.
A lot of this just reminds me of like how corporate is, right? Literally, like you have upper management like Chief TeIz, and then members that want to get up there, be on your level. They need a reference. Sometimes they be using your name without your, and things like that. So let's talk about that for a second. Gangs and businesses, right? Because I know organized crime is like a stereotype when it comes to gang activities. We know that from the mafia or whatever, things like that. So when you talk about an organization, they all have codes and things like that, but you just said that no one really enforces those the right way. From growing up, the street codes and the laws that you followed or heard about, what are some of those laws that actually translate when it comes to business? That you can say that right now you're a CEO, you're taking care of business the right way. Do you ever catch yourself, oh, I'm doing well in this aspect of business because of this street code or law?
Yeah, I think my experience from being a gang leader with conflict and conflict resolution makes me a better entrepreneur CEO. When dealing with tasks or people getting things done, delegating individuals to do certain things for the business, it's easier to do for me because
leadership.
Experience.
Okay, so because you could say that you were a guy that had hundreds of people under you, you can translate the same way into business where you can have 100 employees under you and lead them to whatever the goal is. So what's a code from the streets that actually work in business right now that you can teach to young entrepreneurs?
That's a good question. A code from the streets that translate and works well with business. One I would have to say is never let your left know what your right is doing.
That's crazy.
And I'm gonna say that because in the streets, you keep things separate. You keep business away from family. You keep, what goes on at home away from what's going on with your guys in the streets and stuff like that. And I think that helps with business because when you're dealing in multiple businesses and you got multiple companies, or you're planning things, you necessarily don't want to involve everyone into your plans. I learned that personally. And when you do that, especially prematurely, and they don't necessarily pan out the way that it's supposed to go, you get a lot of people to remind you of your shortcomings or things of that nature like that. I think that's definitely one thing that translates into business for sure.
What does success look like for you in the next 5 years?
Success for me in the next 5 years will be a best-selling author, selling books.
Tell me about your
Book, Dropping My Flag, Picking Up My Life, which is available now. Look it up on Amazon, Dropping My Flag, Picking Up My Life. Paperbacks, ebooks, all that, go get it. It's my memoir. I wrote the book while in prison, fighting my RICO charge, hoping to get home, not knowing what was going on. I really just wanted to get my story out there. The government obviously told a lot of my story in my indictment, but I don't want to let their words be the final words. For 3 years, I was under investigation. My indictment, which is a RICO, it covered a span of 10 years. So from 2012 to 2021,
they were watching you.
The whole indictment is speaking about me and my life and others. 172 pages, a 40-man indictment. When you look up my name and you Google my name, Kurteiz Thompson, the first thing that pops up is the federal government's indictment. That's the first thing on Google. Now, the first thing is my book.
That's good.
I wrote my book while in prison. I wanted to share my story and let young people know that it doesn't stop when you get locked up or when you fall. It doesn't stop when you're down, but it actually starts when you're down and it continues how you get up. And I've been just getting up and trying to help others get up. This book means a lot to me because a lot of things I learned personally I haven't dealt with in my life. I'm speaking about past trauma, issues that I've carried growing up that I never truly visited, but I was forced when I got to write in my book and I'm writing all these stories and I'm telling my life. I had to stop and think about how did this turn out? Certain things came to memory that I forgot or I pushed out because they were so painful or hurtful. Writing my book, I cried and I had to stop writing, take a nap. And
you feel it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a journey of self.
And I did it alone. I didn't have nobody to help me. I wrote the book by myself. I actually wrote 3 books while I was incarcerated.
Oh, okay.
This is my first published book. I just published it yesterday, actually. And I'm proud of it. And I hope that this book helps a lot of people. Anybody who's dealing with gang affiliation or somebody who's not dealing with gang affiliation. My book isn't just for the gang member or the person that's thinking about getting involved in gangs. It's about anyone who have anything that's holding them down, whether if it's addiction, abuse, sexual abuse, trauma, anything that's like gravity holding you down, my book is for you. It'll teach you how to let that go, to drop it and pick your life up.
What are some of the things that we would read about in your book here?
Okay, so some of the things you'll read, obviously about my upbringing, definitely about how I joined the gang, some of the things that took place while joining the gang, and some of the things that happened during my tenure as a gang leader. Other things you will learn about me is my trades. You will learn about me being a certified tree artisan and working for the city of Detroit in forestry.
What is a tree artisan?
A tree artisan is a person who's certified to cut, trim, or fell a tree. I worked on the east side for a year and a half, and I worked on the west side of Detroit for about a year and a half. I beautified the city of Detroit. I loved that job. I had a lot of certificates and accomplishments with that job, everything from becoming a certified had my aerial platform permit, had my commercial driver's license.
What is it?
Aerial platform permit. When you go up in a tree, you go up in a bucket truck. So you
like
can
the
go
like
60,
DT.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was the one going up in a bucket truck 60, 70 feet up in the air.
You need a permit or something? License for that?
Yeah, you gotta have a license for that, that aerial platform permit.
Yeah.
So I had that, my CDLs, my certified pesticide applicator license through the Department of Agriculture.
How are you leveraging those now?
Now I'm actually not, just because I'm focused on my business and giving back in the community. But I still love to cut trees, though. It's art, for sure.
Tell me about your business. What are you doing right now when it comes to your business? PYPO.
Yeah, so right now I have a physical store inside of Greenfield Plaza. Okay. Go check it out, lower level 38, come shop. I brought some of the clothes here today, hoodies, joggers, cups, everything. I'm pushing my brand and getting people inside of quality clothes, pushing out the name and awareness because the name is a mission, you know what I mean? And the mission is in the name, and that's to put my people on. And that's not just my people, but any people. It's for anybody. Put your people on. For sure.
Why is it so important for people to put their own people on?
Because if you don't, who will? Nobody puts nobody else before them. So you can't expect to get nowhere from someone else. You gotta start home, man. And you gotta start with the people around you, the people who look like you, the people who, in your community. They don't necessarily have to look like you, but if you're in my community, you're my people. Okay. So I wanna put my people, that's a great question, actually. So my logo for PYPO is an octopus. Tentacles, 8 tentacles, is a way for you to put your people on. Octopus, you got books, because one of the best ways to put your people on is knowledge, information. That's how you really put your people on. If you know better, then you can do better, and you can help others. Information and knowledge will be the #1 way to put your people on. Okay. Other ways that's depicted in the logo, healthy food. We kill ourselves every day when we wake up eating some of the things that we eat. I'm very adamant about dietary health and being health conscious, working out and the things that you eat. I wanted to have that a part of my brand because that's me.
So basically no coney dogs and chili cheese fries
man,
every
leave
day.
all that alone, man. Cut the swine out, all that, for real. So that's another way by putting your people on, just by being healthy. Other ways is team sports. Growing up, I never was into team sports. I never played a team sport. The only team sport I ever played was gangbanging. That's the only thing I ever played. Me and the homies got together and played the streets, collectively, and we won. Until the indictments came. Another way to put your people on is team sports. I felt as though if I had a team sport, like if I was hooping growing up or playing football, I probably wouldn't have got involved in gangs because I would have had something to do after school.
You would have felt that brotherhood,
Yeah, I felt that brotherhood.
You didn't have to find that camaraderie or teamwork in a gang environment.
Yeah, Eastside Cowboys in the PAL League, you know what I mean? Being that I didn't get involved in team sports, as I got older, I started to realize how that hindered me. I competed, but on a different stage. I didn't compete with a basketball or anything like that. Put sports and team sports as part of the PYPO logo because you need sports, you need camaraderie, you need to be able to have exactly. That's why I want to salute all the CVI groups and their basketball teams because that's important. If I had a group of individuals that was coming to pick me up and sponsor me to play ball and take me to these different places and stuff like that, I'd have been less involved in the crime and gangs and stuff. Yeah.
What else you got?
Some of the other things I never want to get away from the foundation because the foundation has to be solidified and that's standing on justice, you know what I mean? So I feel you have to be fair and equal in everything.
Where do you get your sense of justice from? Some their sense of justice from, it could be the law. Other people get it from like religion. Another person might get it. I
definitely get my sense of justice from God. Me being a Muslim, I believe in Allah. That's where I get my justice from, my moral compass. That's where I draw my strength from.
How did religion play a part into your rehabilitation?
That's a great question. So religion played a great part in my rehabilitation and transformation. In my belief in Islam, it's about total submission. To not do what I want to do, but do, what God want me to do. Yeah. So when I humbled myself and got into my Quran and I read in my surahs and my ayats and reading scriptures and stuff like that, you have to listen. You have to listen. You can't pick and choose. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sadly, I picked and chose for so long, and that's what got me in the situation that I was in bondage and down and trying to figure out why, because I chose to do other than what I knew I was supposed to be doing. So now I'm just drawing off that strength and following the path and staying on that and not deviating from it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's actually a very beautiful thing. I'm also a Muslim. I was born into it. I feel like all of us tend to stray away from the right path, especially in the environment that we're in. It doesn't have to be like Detroit poverty or gang life. It could literally be just being a part of any toxic environments and things like that. What is some advice that you have for the brothers to stay on their deen?
I would have to say fellowship. You are weak alone. We're strong together. Every day, even the most strongest Muslim will have weak days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when those days come, and you don't have to be a Muslim, this is a Christian or anyone, you're gonna have those days where you're not yourself and you just need to be around stronger people. So that's the process that I'm in right now in my life, is placing myself around stronger-minded people and people that's going in the direction in which I want to take versus me always being the strength and people pulling from my strength, because that's how I was before.
One of my mentors told me this: you want to be the dumbest person in the room. If you are, then that means you're in the right room.
But talk a little bit about that though, because you want to be the weakest in the room mentally so that you can gain mentally, but oftentimes our pride be in the way. So do we want to get in a room where we the lowest on the totem pole? Because your pride has to be intact for you to be comfortable with going in a room where you know, I ain't where these guys at. So how do you, because when you said what you said, that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's real. You want to go somewhere, you want to be better in life, but you have to be uncomfortable to get there. You understand what I'm saying?
I think it comes from what you said earlier, right? Submission. In Islam, you submit to God. You submit to Allah and all his teachings. One of my uncles, he would say, there's no why. As in, he would say a rule, right? And then I would automatically ask, why is that thing? He's Naji, there is no why. You either follow it or you don't. It's either yes or no. No why. Like once you get rid of that, that's where the submission comes in, right? Where you have to be like, there's no why. This is the law. So now I have to accept that, right? So I would say there was a point in my life where it is what it is. I was forced to be in certain environments where I was the dumbest. You can name whatever negative word that you want to say. I was that in the room. And then I would feel less of. That's just a mindset. And then once I just accepted that, whereas yes, I am not as adequate as these people in this room, who cares? Because I know now I'm gonna learn everything I can from this. If I didn't look at this as a learning opportunity, then I'm stuck with my pride. I was like, oh, forget these guys. Who do they think they are? They have better watches than me, or they have more money or whatever. That would be lying to myself because that's not true. Like I want to be in certain financial situations as these guys, or they have a network where I want to be a part of that network. The first step is you always have to start small, right? You have to be a student before you can be a master or a teacher. At the end of the day, you have to train yourself to accept that there will be people better than you. Smarter than you, faster than you, better looking than you, more money than you. You're not.
And then how about this? If you the best, and if you at the ceiling, right? Then it's nowhere.
Where are you gonna go?
Where you gonna go?
Yeah, then you're bored.
You know, what's the point?
I think a lot of you know what? I'm not even gonna speak on the older generation because I'm a person where I'm like, it is what it is for them. But now for the younger generation, we have to put our pride aside.
We got to.
Because that's the main thing that's holding us back from reaching that next level. Be okay with being the dumbest person in the room. You should look at that as doing the right thing. You can't act as a know-it-all. People would always say, fake it till you make it. That's BS to me. Because if you keep faking that you got it all together and you know everything, what are you actually learning? You're just gonna keep BSing through life and then not better or transformed.
I think back to my life coach, David Muhammad, and every time I talk to him, at the end, he say, now what do you have to give me? In my mind, I'm paying you. You supposed to be pouring into me. He said, every day you grow and you have a capacity to learn, and I'm pouring into you. He said, but a relationship is a two-way thing. So when you're learning, you have to be able to teach too. That's the only way we're going to be able to judge if you're getting anything.
Exactly. That's why in school we have the teachers like, all right, here's your test. Show me what you've learned. Teach me what I just taught you. I think that is a beautiful thing. We need to start transferring knowledge. When you're getting a lot of knowledge from someone, you get these endorphins and things like that. And you're feeling good, but that person just poured all their energy into you. You got to give that back to them as well. Uplift them and show them like, okay, listen, I wasn't just here to listen to you for entertainment. Here's what I learned, and here are some things that I can potentially help you with.
Once you spark that atom, it continues to spark another atom and another, and you look 10,000 later and you're forming something.
Yes, sir. I think more of us need to do that, but how can we become catalysts or create a safe environment for people like this and conversations like this? What's your thought?
I think we could do more of this by just creating these opportunities.
Why would people want to listen to us, though?
I think we definitely some interesting individuals. Anybody who has a voice worth listening to. God gave everybody something. What he gave you might not be for me, but it could definitely be for the next man. What I'm saying might not be for you, but I know for a fact some people need to hear this. I just think we gotta continue to build, continue to do things like this. I appreciate you for bringing me on to your platform and giving me an opportunity to share my story. I wanna invite you onto my platform. I'll put your people
put me on, man.
Podcast. I gotta put you on.
man.
You put me on, so I gotta put you on. You
Yes,
feel me?
sir.
And that's what it's about. Steel sharpens steel.
Yeah.
So many people want but don't want to give. You understand what I'm saying? So many people give with reservations. Exactly.
You gotta share the Krabby Patty formula. Everybody wants some great burgers. So when it comes to put your people on, when people out there hear about PYPO, put your people on, what do you think is the first thing that pops into their head?
Put your motherfucking people on, don't be no bitch. Flat out, that's the first thing. Every time somebody see my shirt, they gonna say, put your motherfucking people on. Hey, listen, man, shout out to my brother, my day one, my brand ambassador, my friend, Eastside Egg Roll, man. He the most turned Asian, the West Side Wine Time, the North Side, the East Side Emperor, you know, all that. Shout out to my brother, Eastside Egg Roll. Definitely pushed my brand to heights I can only thank him for. And not just him, man. Others, Shani, Delano, man. Everybody, man. Everybody who's just been pushing the brand. This brand isn't mine, it's yours. So put your people on. Salute, man. Triple times, man. To everybody who be in uniform. When I see you in PYPO, you know it's love.
How did that come about? You and Egg Roll, like what's the story behind that? And that was biggest catchphrase. I thought that was his brand until my boy Corey had to say, I was like, oh, put your people on. He was like, oh, put your people on. You mean TeIz, right? Tell me the story about like you and Egg Roll, like how did that happen?
Yeah, so Sensei, man, that's my brother, man. Him, my older brother Step, and all my homeboys from my hood off East 7 Mile, that's where we from. We came up together. So that's my baby, that's my brother, and we every day with it. I remember even before Blender, his biggest song, Zips in the Blender, we trapping it out every day, man. In the studio, man. I believe bro was the best rapper, you know what I mean? Hands down, nobody fucking with him. I'ma just say that. His lyrics, man, his style, his originality, man, and he's not fake, man. One thing about Egg Roll, man, is who you get. A lot of people, they got personalities and they do it for the gram and all that stuff. Like when you see bro and he himself and balancing stuff on the head, man, he started that. He an originator, bro. I swear to God, I love my brother, man. He original, man, so I love that brother, man.
What do you think caused him to put PYPO on his shoulders like that? Where were you at the time?
I was home.
Okay.
We was pushing it together. So when I started my brand, the closest people closest to you, they gonna want to be the, if they really, if they real, they gonna be your biggest supporters.
Absolutely.
And my closest friend was my biggest supporter and is my biggest supporter. He never switched up. A lot of people get money and switch up, be around all these people, trade the truth. A lot of people, man, a big artist. Every time he around Rick Ross or any one of these people, you know what he's saying. Put your motherfucking people on. So he letting the whole world know. Shout out to my brother. I love you, bro. Keep doing you. We at the top. And he got some new stuff on the way.
I found out that Egg Roll went to Renaissance.
Yeah.
I went to Renaissance.
Yeah,
That's my Rennie brother, you know what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying?
see, y'all on the west side.
Man, maybe the next time we need Egg Roll here, bro. Talking about,
we gotta get
PYPO.
bro here.
The most turned Asian. You know
most
what I mean?
turned
I'm
Asian.
also Asian. I would do the same thing that he was doing. I would scream that. Put your motherfucking people on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like,
That's
100%. And then it was to the point where instead of saying it, the gears started turning for, I'm like, okay, wait, hold up. How do I put my people on?
That's why I went with the name, because the name, like I say, it's a message.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It's just not a clothing brand you put on. You can put on Gucci, Louis. It's not telling you
What does
nothing.
it mean?
That don't mean nothing. Unless you put on something like Damon John's brand, For Us, By Us,
Yes, sir.
or Kurteiz Thompson's brand,
Yes, sir.
put your people on, then you can honestly say I'm putting on something that has meaning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And when people see it, when I'm out in the malls, or I love when older people see it, because when they read it, they put your people on. Oh, I like that. I love that. That's what we got to do.
Sure.
And it lets you know this is what we has to do. So it's a reminder.
Yeah, that's the
you know,
mission.
it's a mission, bro.
It's not gonna die with us. Put your people on. That's not gonna die with me. It's not gonna die with. It's gonna keep on going until
Master that mindset and we adopt that. It becomes us.
Yes.
Then we can really start having success. in
Higher
our
level
life.
Everybody, we need a whole group of
For real.
Jay-Z's, not just one that
Facts.
we look up to. We need everybody, all billionaires in Detroit.
Imagine, right? You're in the finances. So imagine if the wealth of the world, like the trillionaires and all that stuff, the Rockefellers, JP Morgan, all those individuals, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine if the wealth of the world shared their wealth with the poor. It would balance out. You would have everybody living a middle-class life somewhat, right? There wouldn't be a class.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a class. That seems to be morally the best thing that should happen. That's a good conversation, right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to have all the money of the world? We know money is power. What do you get when you get the power? What is the power for? Is it to stay in power? To stay in power, you have to do what?
Yeah.
Some people has to be
at the bottom.
Be at the
Absolutely.
bottom, regardless of the situation. So I think, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate.
Come on.
If you spread power to everybody, then no one really has power. If there's a class system, there's a bottom and the top. Once it's like that, then there's power to people who have power over other people. But now what you're saying is if you give wealth to everybody and everyone's the same, there's no power. There's no one above someone else, there's no one under someone else, so then there would be no power. I don't know why
We just won't focus on the powers that be, and we just focus
Yeah.
on the one power, which is God. You know what I mean?
I think so too. I don't know. I think this is definitely above my pay grade, but I know that based on the wealthiest individuals in the world, they have the power to stop world hunger and all these things.
And that's
But
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
but can control is what I do with the information that I get. So a reason why I got into finance is growing up, no one really taught me that. We just know that we got to get money, right?
Sure.
We got to get money however we can, but then number one, how do we do it the right way? Number two, once we got it, well, how do we keep it coming? And then number three, how do we set that money up for the next generation so that they don't have to struggle like me?
Correct.
These are things that was never taught to me or to my people, which is why I got into the finance field so that I can learn it from the best and then put my people on to how to handle their finances. What is a credit score? How to get it better? What can they leverage that for? Everyone hears a loan and they're just like, oh, I don't want that. They hear a lot of bad things. But let me relate it to your story. Would you say that all guns are bad?
No.
It's just a tool at the end of the day. So now what someone uses that tool for, it could be for good, it could be for bad.
Correct.
Same thing with finances and a loan. You could use it for good, or you can just get it and then blow that loan, and then now you're on the hook for it, destroying your life and your credit score. So I'm all about just leveraging the tools that we have here the best way possible.
That makes sense. Growing up in my household, my parents said, stay away from credit cards. And the only reason why they said that because they never taught financial responsibility with the credit card. Because now I'm learning at 37 years old, you better get a credit card.
Yeah, you need it.
If you ain't got one, is you okay? So now I got multiple cards, and if you knew better, you'll do better.
No one really teaches us like strategy, how to properly use a credit card. It goes beyond just swiping a card to get some clothes or some food. That's not the main purpose.
You gotta make credit work
for you. It may not be something that you can utilize to the fullest extent right now, like as soon as you open a credit card, but down the line, building your credit with the credit card the right way, 5 years down the line will allow you to get a home or get a car, or let's say getting a business loan. There's different ways you can leverage the things that the government, banks, and everything are offering us. We just gotta figure it out. We just gotta have a conversation. And I'm gonna say this, because everyone who's out there doing the whole, I can fix your credit, you know what I mean? It's a scam. There's no way you can just talk to someone, you give them your information, in a couple of days, your credit score goes from 300 to 800. This is not how it works. It might seem like it is for the short term, but in the long term, there's no way. It doesn't work like that. There are real financial professionals in the field who can help you get your credit score up the right way, and it will take some time and some elbow grease from you, but there's no magic way to just fix your credit. I think we have to start together as a community to really start figuring out ways to educate our people on credit and why it's important. No one really cares about credit these days, and using that knowledge to help your generations. At the end of the day, we're putting in the groundwork right now. For sure. Like with your business, with your movement, there's gonna be a time where your son is gonna be grown. Do you want him to go through the same struggles as you, or would you want his life to be more privileged? You're working really hard right now so that later your son is gonna have more options, where my dad already taught me, and my dad just passed on all his businesses to me. So I'm his beneficiary for his retirement accounts and things like that. So now I don't have to worry about the foundational level stuff. Now I can worry about how to grow his business into a bigger corporation, or how can I continue putting my people on, and then building generational wealth for my kids and their kids.
That's what it's about. That's why for my 31st birthday, instead of celebrating or doing anything for myself, I bought a house for my son. You know
What does that mean? You bought a house for your son?
Yeah, so for my 31st birthday, I was still working for the city of Detroit. Mike Duggan got the promise with city workers, buy a house from the land bank, then you get it half off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I bought a house, ended up paying $10,000.
Yeah.
And I bought a house in my neighborhood and was fixing it up. Bought it for my son. But when I got indicted in forfeiture, notices my bank accounts, my vehicles, my houses, and everything was forfeited from the feds.
Because
I was charged with a drug charge and a racketeering charge. So they can't tell what's coming from the city of Detroit, what's coming from drugs, what's coming from gang meetings.
So where are you now in your financial journey to build generational wealth for your son?
And I just came home 5 months ago. I had to reestablish.
Welcome home, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it, bro. I had to reestablish my LLC. So I had to, with that, articles of incorporation all over again, everything, bank accounts and everything, new business bank accounts and everything like that. Right now, I'm just focused on doing the necessary groundwork to make sure my son won't have to worry for anything. That's the reason why I started my generational wealth. And also because when I was working for the city of Detroit, I didn't have a single father. I didn't have the time to spend with my son, so I would drop him off at my cousin's house. My cousins took care of my son for me when I used to work. But yeah, I'd be at work for 8 hours, and when I get off, I'm tired. I don't really have the time to spend with my son. I needed to create an opportunity for myself to make money so that I could spend time with my son. And Allah blessed me with the opportunity to create my business, and it happened exactly how I wanted it. You know what I mean? And that looked great, man. Being up at my store with my son, he got his own little corner, KJ Corner. And when you come in, he helping you clothes and all that. Man, it's a beautiful thing. I think that's probably the most rewarding thing, is being a business owner and being able to have your child work there with you. You know what I mean?
To do that as a kid.
Work with your dad.
So my dad, this is a little bit about my dad. So he came here from Bangladesh, and he was.
So where is Bangladesh?
Bangladesh is a country that's right next to India. We're a new country. We gained our independence about 50, 60 years ago. My dad is over the age of 60. He was growing up where we were fighting for our independence. But just short history, everything used to be India at first. Okay. So Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India, it was just all India. And then it went from India to West Pakistan and East Pakistan. And then, so now we have India, East Pakistan, West Pakistan. And then my people, Bangladesh, we were part of Pakistan, but then we fought for our independence. We wanted to be our own country, really because of our language. Pakistan and Bangladesh may have shared a lot of the same culture, religion, food, and all those things, but at the end of the day, we really fought for our language, Bangla, right? So that's something, we're just like, hey, we're our own people.
Teach me something in Bangla.
Okay.
How do I say friend?
Bon,
du.
Yeah, bon.
Bongdu.
Yeah, bondu means
friend.
So anytime you meet somebody, you can say
Kita
hobor.
Habor.
Kita hobor.
Bor.
Yeah, kita hobor. Yeah.
Kita habor.
Yeah, that means what's up, what's going on. And then another thing you can say after that,
brother.
Right, so
bye.
Yep.
Oh, bye. I seen that.
Yeah.
B-A-I.
That's the brand.
Okay,
That's the
okay.
brand. That's the juice brand.
Yeah.
But literally, but it's literally that
just
right
like
there.
that.
Just
Bye.
like bye.
Okay.
Yeah, bye means brother.
Okay. Kita habor bye.
Yeah.
Kita habor bye.
Yeah. It's like, what's up, bro?
Okay, what's up, bro?
It's very nice.
For sure.
Yeah, or you can switch that and say bondu. Kita hobor bondu.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, right? So being Bangladesh, so being here in the D, you growing up here, so how do you deal with people who don't necessarily know your nationality and get you mixed up with everybody else?
I've been dealing with it all my life. I'm not mad at it. Till this day, some people think I'm Indian, other people think I'm Arabic, somebody thinks I'm Mongolian. In high school, everyone thought I was everything except for Bangladeshi. It's fair to say we're like a smaller niche, no one really knows. But at the end of the day, Habibi, like the Arabic culture is a part of us too because of the religion.
Right.
And when it comes to India, if people think I'm Indian, you're not 100% wrong because we came from India.
Okay.
But honestly, what I like to do now is I'm unapologetic when it comes to the education.
Okay.
So if someone wants to ask me or say things about India, I let them know, actually not Indian, have you heard about Bangladesh?
Yeah.
And they just be like, oh, no, what is that? And I just let them know that.
But
like,
see,
hey.
that's why I like what you're doing with Made in Bangladesh, Made in Banglatown, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Hamtramck, because people don't know. And I grew up right next to Hamtramck. My neighborhood is right outside of Hamtramck.
Yes.
So Banglatown, Hamtramck is the hood for real.
People are starting to really notice Bangladeshis, and it really just starts with taking pride in our culture. Being Bengali, Bangladeshi, we gotta say it with our chest. Because growing up, we would hide it. Being from an immigrant family or being different, it was just like, nah, I don't want to be different. I want to be like everybody else. But it's like, why would you want to be anybody else? Interesting and unique environment where I had immigrant family at home. So I was learning a whole different type of culture, a whole different language, different food, different clothing. And then as soon as I stepped out of my house, I'm more Americanized, listening to what other people listen to, which is hip hop, wearing whatever the trend was during that time, speaking slang, whatever was trending at that time, and then how to navigate through the culture here, the ideologies here, while also balancing where I came from, where my people came from. I think as a first generation Bangladeshi, there's no blueprint for it right now. So because of that, I just don't know what to call myself. So I just say, hey, I'm Najee, I'm made in Banglatown. So whatever in Banglatown, like you just said, brother, as me, born and raised in Hamtramck, but also with Detroit in my backyard. I speak multiple languages. I love different kinds of food. I'm unapologetic when it comes to my culture now. My culture is really like a mix of Bangladeshi while also Detroit, while also like American hip hop and pop culture. It starts with just the education, having that voice and say, hey, like this is me.
Put your people on. That's what you gotta do, bro.
That's what I'm doing, man.
Gotta do.
I made that because I'm just trying to put my people on. Whether you're from Bangladesh or you grew up here as a Bangladeshi from immigrant parents, we gotta put our people on to finances, music, culture, food, fashion, whatever it is, based on our narrative. There's a lot of negative things that people might assume when they hear Bangladeshi, Indian, brown, or Desi, right? A lot of it could be true. We do smell like spices because we use a lot for our food. You love the butter chicken, you know what I mean?
Garlic, for sure.
But yeah, at the end of the day, we just gotta put our people on. Sometimes our people don't even know that they are our people. We just gotta put them on to that. And I'll be that voice. I could be wrong about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna talk about it.
I could be wrong, but I could have been right.
If you don't know, then after a conversation, you'll know. This is how it works.
Yeah.
What's next for your clothing brand?
So what's next? Obviously just expansion. I want to do my best to get the best quality clothing out, best designs, but stay true to who I am. And that's the brand. My business will be involved in a lot of community service work. That's something that I'm passionate about. That's something that the brand represents. So that's what's next to come. Expanding, more community service work, my business being more involved in the streets and dealing with gun violence from what happened with me as well as my sister. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds beautiful. Hey man, let me know if there's any way we can collaborate or work together when it comes to just putting our people on.
For sure.
I may have some merch ideas, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
I need some fire, you know what I mean?
We got some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Talk to the people right now. Let them know what you got going on or coming up in your life. Plug everything.
All right, man, what's up? What up, though? This TeIz, man. Put your people on. Y'all go check out my book, Dropping My Flag, Picking Up My Life. It's out right now on Amazon. You can look it up by the title, Dropping My Flag, Picking Up My Life, or search my name, Kurteiz Thompson. The spelling and the link will all be below. Search my Instagram, Kurteiz Thompson, PYPO _ first and last name on Facebook, everything. Be on the lookout too, man. Y'all go subscribe to my podcast, Put Your People On podcast, where I will be featuring any and everybody who is doing just that, putting their people on. So if you're giving back, you're doing it in a major way, or not in a major way, I still want to give you some notoriety, man, and shout you out for the selfless work that you are doing. I will be working in schools and community services with CVI groups near you to reduce the violence and just stop these kids getting killed. That's something that's heavy on my mind and heart. I lost my sister in these streets through gun violence, so I won't stop. teaching and preaching about putting the guns down and protecting our people.
Sounds good, man.
sure.
Love to hear it. How can, if people want to join your cause and support you, how can they do that?
Yeah, if you want to join my cause, you want to support me, like I say, man, subscribe, share everything I got going on. Or if you want to reach out to me directly, man, you can email me at kurteizthompson@gmail.com.
It's Najee from Made in Banglatown, and put your motherfucking people on, man. Don't be no bitch.